Good morning, Connection Point Church. It's good morning. Hope you're doing well on this day of February 10th, 2021. I have two questions for you as we begin together. Number one, what was the last way that the Lord delivered you? Maybe that word is a little foreign to you. Delivering means to free from, to bring out of. So you can think about, are there circumstances? Maybe you remember your salvation story of some point, a need, a habit. How did the Lord deliver you? When was it? What was the last way that the Lord delivered you? That's your first question. Second question, how did you remember or celebrate that deliverance? Maybe that's a weird question for you. We talked about this in our pastoral team meeting this week, and frankly, we realized that a lot of us aren't very good at remembering or celebrating the little things, the big things that God has done in our lives. I ask us this because this Sunday we're going to be finishing our series in the book of Esther by going through the last two chapters, chapters 9 and 10. The whole book has been leading to these chapters, what God is going to do, deliver the people of God. Last week we dealt with the tricky subject of the Jews inflicting violence, and if you want to hear more about that, I encourage you to go back to this Sunday's Facebook Live video, watch the sermon from this last Sunday. But this week, we're going to focus on the Jews' response to God after the violence, after the Lord delivers them from Haman's evil edict. Church, they go nuts. There is celebrating, feasting, and they're sharing it with their neighbors. Like it doesn't just stay with the Jewish people. They're taking food to their neighbors and the poor. And it became known as the Festival of Purim, which the Jews still celebrate today. Esther chapter 9, verse 28 says it this way. These days would be remembered and kept from generation to generation and celebrated by every family throughout the provinces and cities of the empire. This festival of Purim would never cease to be celebrated among the Jews, nor would the memory of what happened ever die out among their descendants. Isn't that cool? Have you ever thought about the act of celebrating as holy? In fact, the word holiday that we so easily throw around for all our various days, including Valentine's Day, that's this Sunday. Hope you remember that. I keep forgetting, if I'm honest. That word holiday really derives from the idea of it being a holy day, a day that we recognize, wow, God has intervened in our story, and this deserves remembering. It deserves celebrating. So maybe you haven't been delivered from an evil edict of your imminent death, like the Jewish people in the book of Esther. Or maybe you have. I know there's stories of God delivering some of you from cancer in our congregation. That's a story of deliverance. What was the last way the Lord delivered you? I encourage you between now and Sunday to reflect on this question, and even to take notice of the ways that the Lord is bringing deliverance in your life this week, the way he frees you, rescues you. And then take that next step, like our Jewish brothers and sisters, to find some way to share the joy of deliverance and remember it. Maybe it's artwork. I'll grab something real quick. So the youth ministry that I served with in Kansas prior to being here made me this picture. And all these little leaves are fingerprints of my students that I got to serve with. This was a celebration, not of the Lord delivering me from Kansas, right? But the Lord freeing me to continue to serve my calling that God had called me to do. It's artwork, helps me remember, right? Maybe you make a cake. Maybe you simply just call a friend and you share testimony of how God is working in your life. But find some way this week to think of a creative way to share and celebrate what God is doing. God doesn't just want to free us from things, right? He's not just about that. Over and over and over again, he frees God's people for something, for a purpose. Celebration is one of those purposes because celebration can spread God's grace to our world. Our purpose is to spread that grace, to share the good news of that with others. If you don't have any ideas this week, or if you have a really great story, here is where I need your help. Dixie, one of our congregants who is shut in and currently is recovering from a broken hip surgery at Life Care Center in Hilo. She is in need of encouragement this week, and all the time when I talk to her, she's asking, what's going on? What is God doing in the church? So if you have a really good story to share, I would love for you to write a letter, make a card, draw a picture that we can mail or I can take to Dixie to share stories with her of what God is up to in the church. If you want to work on that and you want to bring that this Sunday, that'd be awesome. If you want to keep working on that, that'd be awesome. But all in all, remember these two questions, right? What was the last way the Lord delivered you? How did you remember or celebrate that? We're going to talk more about this on this Sunday at 10:30. I hope to see you there in person with your mask on, spread out. You know the drill by now. We hope that drill will change soon. Or I hope to see you over Facebook Live. But may the Lord continue to deliver you this week, and may you have the grace to recognize it. Go in his peace today.